Okay, so I'm just going to explain to you some of the specific instructions that our client is actually requiring. They did forward their own videos, but uh, I think it's a bit hard to understand, so I just decided to create my own video for you. You actually have these instructions already. I had you write a sample last night. Was yeah. Regarding that sample, just to make it clear, it's not that the article is actually, not good, or it's not that there's anything wrong regarding your grammar or your English or even the content itself. It's just that the writing style being required by this particular client is a bit different from the ones that we have been doing so far. So I just need to emphasize a few things and specify a few things that they need from us. Okay. So here's for the structure. As you can see, they need five parts: title, introduction, content, conclusion, and a call to action. So let's just go over them one by one. So for the title, this client, he wants the title to be very interesting, a title that actually would already call a reader to read the article. So it's not just a simple title that will sum up what you have in the article. It should be something that will convince a reader to actually read. Because when you go to Google and you search for, let's say, panic attacks, since that's the example here, there will be articles that will come up in the results, right? So, of course, a reader will choose to open a link if they see that the title is enticing or interesting. So, we have to meet that need. Okay? So, here, for titles that are interesting, I'm sure as a reader, you also observe this in yourself. The titles that have a specific number of information in them, it's you think that it's easier to read, it's easier to digest, so you tend to click on those articles more. So let's just, for example, let's compare. If the title is ways to avoid panic attacks, and then another title says five specific ways to avoid panic attacks. So you will basically tend to go for the one that says five specific tips, because you already know that they will give you just 5 points, important points that you need to understand, instead of getting a whole lot of information that are hard to digest, hard to read, hard to understand. It's better for a reader, or it's better for an article to have just a specific number of information to provide the reader, because it's just easier to digest that way. Okay? And then I don't know why, but odd numbers are better. So 5, 7, 3, there. Tip or numbers like 6, it doesn't really read well, like 6 tips for fast relief. It's not really right. I don't know why. So just go for the most common ones would be 5 and 7. There. You can go for 10, I think. That's the only even number that works, if you can give them 10 specific points. So there. Common things that you can do for titles is like 5 steps to something, or 5 tips to achieve something, 5 ways to do something. There. So it's like you're giving them a bullet list, and you're just going to elaborate it in the article. There. So that's for the title. It has to be, as you can see here, this isn't too particular, 65 characters. That's not really mandatory, so don't mind that. But if you are given a keyword, There, it should be in the first 3 to 4 words of the title. And of course, capitalize the first letters of the title. No matter how long your title is, you still need to capitalize all the first letters of all the words in your title. Okay, next. For the introduction, self-explanatory. You just give a short paragraph of what your whole article will contain. Just to, again, for readers, they want information fast. That's why they're online, right? If they want to get information and they're not in a hurry, they may just go to a book or ask some other people. But if someone wants information fast, they go online and search. So we need to give them the information as fast as we can so that they don't go to another website. Okay, so for the introduction, you should be able to, there's an example later on, by the way, so we will dissect that. But just to give you an overview for the introduction, you should be able to engage the reader right away. You have to convince them to continue reading the article. You have to basically promise them that, yeah, I'll give you this information and it will help you, and say it in a way that is, interesting and enticing there. And then, yeah, here, this is important. Inject some emotions and empathy. Again, I'll show you this in the sample article later on. But the main point is, here is where you ask questions. Like, for the example again, panic attacks. You can ask them, are you experiencing panic attacks? Do you want it to stop? There, you just basically, you tap into the emotions of the reader so that when the person is reading, they go like, oh yeah, I need this. I need to read on. Okay? And then, content. So yeah, this is where you put in whatever information you promised in the introduction. So if it's 5 tips for fast relief, then you give them the 5 tips in bullet points or in a number list, and then elaborate each point so that they would understand. And then this one, conclusions. Basically, this is where if you read the description, it's a bit like general, but for me, just to put it in my own words, this is where you show the reader that you did deliver what you promised in the introduction. So, for example, in the introduction, you said that in this article, you're going to read about 5 tips for fast relief to avoid panic attacks or to eliminate panic attacks in your life. In the conclusions part, you say that, so now you have the 5 tips there. So basically, you need to point out to them that you did deliver your promise, that you did give them important information. And also, you have to reiterate how important the information that you provided is. Okay. And then call to action. This is just basically telling your readers to click on a link. There, click the link to the website. Because these articles are, for example, let's just say the website that we are promoting is panicattack.com. That's not correct, but let's just say that's the website. So panicattack.com, that is not where your articles will be posted. Your articles will actually be scattered all around article directories online. So the point is for people to see the article and then click on the link so that they can go to the website that we are actually promoting. And as you can see here, this is often called the resource box because the website is the resource. Okay, so the point is to tell them that if they want more information, if they found your article helpful, they can find more information in this site, and then we will give the link. Links will be given to you, of course, so you can just incorporate it in this part. Okay, and yes, as you can see here, the resource box or the call to action is not part of the word count. The 4 parts, or actually the title isn't included as well. So introduction, content, and conclusion should be 400 words. minimum, and then you'll have your title and call to action. Right. And then you will see some pointers here for content writing. You can just go through them yourself. Just to emphasize some of this here. Sentences should be concise. Use full stops and just make them short and sweet. This has been in your instructions ever since. So just it's just more of a need for this client. So there. And then use active tense verbs, not the passive ones, and also talk as if you were as if you were talking to a friend. So there, make it sound more intimate, make it sound more personal. Use pronouns like I, we, you. So basically your article should come off like you yourself as a person, you are talking to another real person, which is going to be the reader. Okay, so because for articles we tend to write, I'm guilty of this as well, we tend to write just putting in the information, but you don't really think about the person who's reading it. You just think that the article will be posted online and that's it. But real people with real problems who are looking for information will be reading your article, so you have to connect with them in a more personal and in a more emotional level for this client. Okay. And then what else? Here, use subheadings and bold them. As I said, for this client, it is a must to use a number. Like, again, 7 tips, 5 tips there. So, the 5 tips must be, of course, in subheadings. You already know this, and just bold them just to make them pop up of the page. And then, what else do I need to... Okay, I think that's it. Oh, here, this one. This is important. Never ever promise that something will work 100%. So in your articles, you may say that I've tried this. For example, for panic attacks, you can pretend in your article that you are actually someone who's experiencing panic attacks, and these are the tips that you have found very helpful. So you want to share it with people. So, but you don't promise that if you do these tips, I am sure 100% that it will work. Don't do that, because of course we can never be sure. We can only share as much information as we can. Alright, so for research, this isn't really needed too much, or it's not really needed all the time. I mean, the ideas being covered here aren't needed all the time for you, because most of the time I do give you topics already or keywords. But so I won't go over this anymore. Just read yourself, and I hope you get some help from that. Let's go down. Okay, here you go. So this is the sample article that we are going to discuss. I'm not sure if I sent this to you already or if you already read it, but this is an article that the client actually wrote himself. And again, he did make a video while he was writing it. It's a 1 hour video, and he really detailed everything, but I don't think that it's conducive to learning to watch a 1 hour video of someone writing something from scratch. So I'm just going to again reiterate the important points to you. Okay, just a sec. Okay, so here, this is the title. So, Panic Attacks, 5 Easy and Effective Tips for Natural Fast Relief. Can just try to imagine if the 5 wasn't there. It sounds boring, right? It doesn't sound very enticing. Again, the reader might assume that you're providing tons and tons of info that they might not actually need. So it's better to specify that you're only giving 5 important points that anyone can easily understand. Okay, so again, odd numbers are better, except the number 10.